Zach is back with a Netflix original review. Today I'm reviewing Extraction, and this movie is actually pretty good. This movie is directed by Sam Hargrave. And if you don't know, Sam Hargrave is best known for collaborating with the Russo brothers. And if you don't know anything about the Russo brothers are best known for directing Endgame and Infinity War for the MCU. Which is pretty interesting because Sam Hargrave is actually the stunt coordinator for a lot of the MCU movies. So it's almost like the Marvel group is back together and they're basically trying to make a fun Netflix original. So when you go into a movie like this starring Thor, or aka Chris Hemsworth, and it is directed by a stunt coordinator, you gotta think, is it here for the story or is it here for great action scenes? And if you go into this movie with that mindset that it's going to be pretty much a linear adventure with great action scenes starring Thor, you're going to have a good time with this movie. The story is pretty bare bones, it's very simple. It's basically about a kid who gets abducted by a drug lord, and they need a good-looking action hero slash mercenary to extract him, extract him, and bring him back home to his family. And that's sort of the gist of the story. The movie is very linear, there's not a lot of fleshing out of characters, the storyline's like, you know, it's an extraction movie, you've seen it all before, it's very cliche when it comes to the action genre, but the action scenes are really good. That's basically what you get out of this movie. They try to flesh out Chris Hemsworth's character, and I mean, that's kind of all you get, is a little fleshing out of his character. Everyone else is basically just cardboard cutouts for him to shoot at. The story has very little intrigue, and you can almost see, like, the tracks on this ride, you know what I mean? What I'm basically trying to say is it's extremely predictable. But what's freaking fantastic about this movie is the stunt choreography. It is just phenomenal. It is great. It's like almost next level shit. Like, damn. There's a fantastic chase scene in this movie that has you on edge the entire time. Basically, the camera is sitting in the back seat, so it almost feels like the audience is like a backseat driver, and I was sitting there holding onto my couch like this, turn left, turn right, back up, go. I was like freaking out the entire time. It's a great action scene, like it's phenomenal, and I think down the road people will actually look at this action scene and try to see how they can kind of put it into their, I guess you'd say, better movies, if that makes any sense. That scene was just great because it feels like you're in the back seat, you know, and it just felt more immersive. If that makes any sense. It felt like you were in the action scene. I also really enjoyed the close quarter combat scenes in this movie. I feel like they kind of like took a little note from the John Wick type of fighting where it's like very close combat and whipping around and doing all that crazy stuff. Close camera angles and stuff. It feels really good. The camera angles are really nice. It's none of that shaky cam bullshit. It's quick, it's brutal, it's fantastic. You'll like it if you're into that type of action scene like John Wick. And Chris Hemsworth's character in this movie doesn't give a fuck. I mean, this dude is like ripping people's throats out, throwing people over balconies, slamming and running over people with cars. There was this one part where he just like slams this dude's head into a brick wall, and I was just like, damn. At a certain point in this movie, I was sitting there going like, Jesus Christ, Chris Hemsworth, please take it easy on these guys. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just their job. Jesus Christ. It was pretty brutal, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I think if you're in the action mood and you want something to watch that's very actiony and just brutal, this movie will definitely tickle your pickle. Just know when you're going into this movie, it is not a character piece. It is not about the story and the plot. It is a Netflix action movie starring Chris Hemsworth, directed by a stunt coordinator. Okay? That's what you're getting. Personally speaking, I think this movie could have used a little bit more characterization so you care about certain people, like, you know, Chris Hemsworth's character. I mean, you get just enough to kind of care about his character. Well, he's the only character they do any characterization in this movie. For example, there's a character that they should have characterized just a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. I mean, I like action movies that are just kind of brainless, but when it gets to a certain level of brainless, I need just a little characterization. One of the characters that they needed to characterize is the kid in the movie. I mean, for example, the kid has no characterization, and he's the kid that Chris Hemsworth's character is trying to save. So it's hard for me to actually like or really give a shit about a fictional character that I know nothing about, you know? But other than that, this movie is just trying to be a fun action popcorn movie directed by a stunt coordinator, excuse me, and Chris Hemsworth's the main character. So if you like Chris Hemsworth, his charisma, and you like stunts that you'd see in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, definitely watch this movie. The stunts and the action scenes are top notch and they're phenomenal. So if you're into that stuff, Check it out, it's great. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Extraction a B. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all of that YouTube business. Click the little bell if you want notifications because I'm going to be producing a lot more content soon. And thank you guys so much for watching. See ya!